Just before we jump into this video, I want to tell you about a very special giveaway that I'm currently doing. Put simply, I'm giving $1,000 out of my own pocket to a random commenter on the video linked in the description below. So check out that video and let's show the world what good YouTube can really do. Hello and welcome to day 3 of the HSG experiment, and if you are new to the channel, this will all seem very confusing. Simple thing is, I'm doing a 10-day experiment to prove how broken the YouTube system is, and also to kind of try and figure out why certain videos just, I don't know, attract more attention than actual quality content. So I'm doing a couple of different thumbnails, couple of different titles for different games. As I've said before, if you want to dislike the video, that's fine. Go ahead and dislike that. It doesn't do anything at all. So on this particular day, there are a couple of points that I wanted to get into. And this lighting's kind of funny. It looks like a little man bun here, but if I move over, it's actually... It's full on Jeepers Creepers. And also, I don't usually peddle merch, but today I am wearing some merch, so I thought, hey, might as well mention it. The official Beards and Cars tee. It is a long sleeve, and you can grab it down below this video. It should be right below the video, actually, in the merch section. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because a lot of you guys say that you would like to support the channel, but maybe you don't currently have a job to support it long-term, like on Patreon, or to, you know, join the channel down here or some kind of long-term subscription. If you do want to support the channel and actually get something out of it at the same time that you can wear, this is actually my favorite of all of my designs, then this one is down there. And also, if you do buy one of these tees, put it on Instagram, tag me in it, and I'll feature you on the HSG Instagram page, which is actually right here. So yeah, if you buy some merch, tag me in it and I'll feature you on the page, because that's always fun to do. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that since I'm wearing the Beards and Cars tee today. Now, yesterday's experiment went very well. Not as well as the first day, which doesn't surprise me too much. I think there are two big factors that tie into that. One is because a lot of people now know that it's the experiment, so they think, oh, I'm just not going to bother clicking on it. That's fine. The second thing, though, is I think it's not quite as believable. You know, the Koenigsegg spotted in GT Sportscape locations. That one I already knew wasn't as believable as the Jaguar CX-75, because there's something about that Jaguar, and it's actually the reason why I chose it. The picture in the thumbnail is actually from Drive Club, and Drive Club's graphics are probably one of the closest to GT Sport out of all of the racing games, as long as you don't have the heads-up display on the screen. But also, there's something about that Jaguar which just seems kind of believable. You know, we had the Vision GT recently. It seems like that could happen. Whereas the Koenigsegg, I mean, loads of people want Koenigsegg. That's why I featured it in the thumbnail. But at the same time, would they really add a CC GT first? I don't know. I mean, they could, you know. It would suit the racing style of Gran Turismo. But yeah, I'm not sure what today's thumb is going to be. I do have a couple of thumbnails that are not related to Gran Turismo. So I might feature one of those today and see what kind of effect it has. And also I wanted to ask you guys about potentially doing one of these videos as a live stream instead. So it'll probably be a little bit longer, but at least the live chat over here will actually be working. We can get the view count up there as well. And basically make it into more of a Q&A style occasion where you can put your thoughts out into the video. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Would you like to maybe do that tomorrow? We could do a live stream. I'll premiere it like maybe an hour ahead of time or something so that you've got plenty of time to get in there. But yeah, tell me down below if that's something you'd enjoy, to maybe test out a different aspect of the experiment as well. And as I mentioned yesterday, I think it's important to bring this up again because I didn't fully encapsulate what I meant, I don't think. This particular time on YouTube is doing really bad for money. Not just for me, but for even top-tier creators. And I looked more into that yesterday on Google, and a ton of people are actually noting that. Some people are dropping 50%, some people are dropping 80%. I'm over 30% now. And obviously for a smaller channel, dropping 30%, I would argue, is actually much more of a big deal than a big channel. And yes, I'm not saying that it's right that big channels should drop, but it is fair. You know, at least it's happening to everyone, for a change. And at least with those bigger channels, their income dropping by 30% is still a huge amount of money because of how large the channel is. It's probably not a huge amount of money to them because of the lifestyle that they've become accustomed to, but what they have as a drop of money would be as like an improvement to a smaller channel like mine. So yeah, a channel like this dropping in cash is a much bigger deal than for a bigger channel. But it was reassuring to some degree to notice when I researched it that yes, this is happening to a number of different channels. And a lot of the points that I raised yesterday, a lot of you actually agreed with, stuff to do with the notification bell, how unfair the system is, had loads of great comments. That Koenigsegg video at the time of releasing this video is not even 24 hours old yet, and it's still got like over 3,500 views. And of course, that's nothing compared to a larger channel, but for my first 24 hours, that's a lot better than most of the actual content that I put out, like car reviews, tune setups. In fact, one of the curious things that I've noticed, because a lot of you guys probably watch the videos but don't necessarily take that much notice of the analytics. You might notice if the views are unusually high, but generally speaking, you'll just think, oh, like maybe 1,000 views, something like that. For some weird reason, the tune setups, in GT Sport in particular, seem to be one of the things that have actually suffered the most on the channel, because the tune setups that I put out way back when the game was first released, like the Porsche RSR tune, the Beetle tune I think it was, even the 911 GT3 tune, some of those tunes have like 80,000 views, which for me is good. Anything that's above your subscriber count I think is good. Now, with that being said, I think there is a reason for that, because most of my tune setups now are lucky to get 2,000, and that's like for a Group 3 race car. So I think the reason for that is primarily because there are simply less people who are playing it, and more specifically, and this is the thing that's difficult to quantify, there are fewer people playing GT Sport that are my kind of viewer. And what I mean by that is, there are certain other channels who do sim racing, and that's all they do. They don't really do anything else. I'm sure you can think of some. They're never really going to drop, their subscriber base, really, because they can just keep doing that thing, and that's what people are there for. And one of the inherent problems with the kind of content that I've always done, and I knew that this would be a problem, but I never counted, I never factored in stuff like the current situation, which is something that's very difficult to anticipate. But because of the fact that I've always tried to appeal to as many different audiences as possible, all these little pockets, Gran Turismo, Forza, Test Drive, Ride, Tourist Trophy, all these different things. And even beyond that, once you break it down into car reviews, money-making methods, podcasts, tune setup, speed tunes, drift tunes, circuit tunes, special projects, X tunes, dark, boat, all of these series that I've done through the years, and there's like hundreds of different series. Of course, it is giving so much unique content for people to check out, which is what I've always prided myself on. But at the same time, it means that, yes, I am attracting multiple little audiences, but at the same time, each of those little pockets of audience isn't necessarily interested in anything else on the channel. And I get that, but it's kind of unfortunate that that's the case. For instance, if somebody's here for like Forza tunes, they're probably not going to watch Gran Turismo stuff. Some will, but most probably won't. And that's just an unfortunate byproduct of how creative and how widespread I've always tried to be. So yeah, nothing's without its downsides, I guess. But another thing I wanted to discuss in this video, on a totally different topic, was a couple of suggestions that I've had with regard to the $1,000 giveaway. Of course, you saw the advert for that at the start of this video again. And I really am trying to make it clear that that video is not a joke. Some people still think that that video is a joke. It's not. It's not a joke. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I am giving away that money, but only if the video actually succeeds. So the thing that I wanted to bring up about that was at least two people actually suggested, and one of them was Maverick, who runs the Discord for the channel. He suggested first, and then another comment suggested yesterday, why not aim for maybe a lower goal? So for instance, why not have a video that is like, instead of $1,000 for getting 1 million views, why not give away $100 for getting 100,000 views? Or maybe even $10 for getting 10,000 views? That is something that I'm considering. But the problem is, even if I set it at $10, for 10,000 views, the video itself still doesn't even have 4,000 views. Literally, the Koenigsegg video already has more views in 22 hours than the giveaway does from 3 days ago. And that's literally giving away free money. I don't understand people. I really don't. I mean, you'd think that especially under this current situation, people would kind of need a bit of extra money, especially when it doesn't cost them anything to enter. I guess I was wrong. Weird. But yeah, it is something I'm considering. But the problem that I foresee is, for one thing, if you're winning $10, the stakes aren't as high. So people aren't going to, be as interested, I don't think. You're like, oh, I won $10. Who cares? Whereas 1,000, it's a big deal. Now, 100, you could say it's a big deal, but in order for me to be able to afford that without starting to deplete my own funds, I would need like 100,000 views for that. Because that's the rough kind of income that you're looking at on YouTube. So, well, especially currently, it's probably a little bit lower than that. But yeah, it's something I'm considering, but I don't really want to fall back so early and say like, oh, well, that failed, let's try something different. I still want to try and make that one work. I guess I could do more than one video, though. That might be an idea. Maybe I could do 3, actually. Tell me down below what you think of this idea. Maybe I could do 3 different videos. Maybe I could do the 1,000,000, I could do 100,000, and I could do 10,000. Because there's no point in doing anything lower than that, because if I say, like, if this video gets 1,000 views, I'll give you $1. Because technically that could work, but I mean, it doesn't really work like that, because the first couple of 1,000 views you don't really get any money for. So yeah, I mean, 10,000 would be realistic. Even at that point, I might actually lose $1 or $2 giving away $10, but it might be worth doing to show people that I'm serious about this. Because obviously, one of the things that a lot of people are concerned about is not trusting me, or just thinking that it's a joke of some kind that will get to 1 million views and then I'll say, psych, got ya, I'm keeping the money. And of course, technically, there is nothing to stop me from doing that from a practical point of view. That is why I need all of those subscribers who trust me to vouch for me, and many of you have, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, so there's a couple of questions for you to answer down below. What do you think of that idea? Maybe doing 3 challenges, the 1,000,000 view challenge, 100,000 view challenge, and 10,000 view challenge. 10,000 views, I mean, there's 57,000 people on the channel. That should be something that could be done in a couple of hours. But that video, like I said, still doesn't have that many. So, I mean, I keep lowering the bar in hopes that people can reach it, and it still seems to struggle. I mean, what's a guy supposed to do? There's only so much I can do in this situation without people actually, putting some effort of their own in. But yeah, so tell me down below, what do you think of the 3-stage challenge? Because that is something I'm open to. Maybe after the 10 days is over, though, so that people don't get confused again. And also, what do you think about doing a live stream for one of these? I think that most of you will probably like that idea. We could maybe do it tomorrow, and we can do it kind of as this, properly, the Hangout with HSG. I've done 3 of these already, 3 live streams. They were around like an hour or 2 long. Answered a ton of questions, had a lot of fun. But obviously those videos are more about the in-the-moment kind of experience. They're not as fun, I think, when you watch them after the fact. I actually do watch live streams when they're finished. Because if you join a live stream and it's already started, I almost feel like I've missed something. So I tend to wait and watch it later. And I know some people do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for those who do want to support the channel and, donate something or buy a t-shirt or something like that, then the live stream is like the moment to do that, because it's just easier, basically. It's easier to support the channel and donate it and be part of the conversation when the video is actually still live. So yeah, tell me down below if you'd like that idea. Also about the giveaways. And I think that's about it. So the experiment's still going very well. As I said, the Koenigsegg is not as high as the Jag, but I expected that to be the case. I have no idea what today's thumbnail is going to be, so it might be Gran Turismo, it might be something completely different. I know that some of you, finally, for those of you who did stick around this long in the video, some of you will be disappointed that I did not do the photo mode and livery competition today. The reason why is simple. As I already said, this 10-day experiment is going to be an exclusive thing. I took a break from that for the giveaway, and I took another break for the Supra review, because I wasn't anticipating a new car in the game. New car. But apart from that, I'm sticking to the experiment. 1 video a day. And unless something radical happens, like a gumpet gets added to Gran Turismo, but a legitimate gumpet, then yeah, I'm going to stick to this format for now, just for the 10 days. So this is day 3. There's not that long to go. It's a week. And yeah, I appreciate your continued support. I appreciate all those likes that were for the algorithm yesterday. That was cool. All the likes, the dislikes as well. I get it. I understand. You should be annoyed. I am. And also, in my final point, and this really will be my final point, I also came to the conclusion that, as well as what I said yesterday about this video being kind of a cathartic time for me, just producing videos that are kind of silly, just to talk about stuff instead of bashing out content every day that doesn't get the views that it deserves. Also, a secondary benefit to this, I think, will be that in this current financial slump that we're in on YouTube, it's actually going to be better, I think, to essentially ride out the storm. Like, take a knee, duck down, let it wash over you, and then come out the other side. And this 10 days is basically going to also allow me to do that. So these videos do have more views, but they're still not really making any decent money. And at least they're kind of like a throwaway thing. Yes, it's the experiment, but you know what I mean. It's not like I'm wasting good content in this awkward time. I'm just putting out content that's completely superfluous even, and yeah, like riding it out pretty much. So it's kind of a secondary benefit, an unforeseen one to oh, thanks, Ching. It's a secondary benefit basically to this current situation, or in this current situation. So yeah, thanks for your support on the series. Drop your comments down below, give me your thoughts on the live stream and the giveaways, and until tomorrow, I'll see you then, maybe with a live stream. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.